a nice rest. Stories and songs. Fairy tales make me happy. Little The Fairy. Do you know the story about the fairy? I kind of love it. Once upon a time, there were two beautiful sisters. The older sister was grouchy, disagreeable, and really rude. Blah. The younger sister was kind and loving and always willing to help. Yay! Although the two were equally beautiful, the older sister was extremely vain and thought herself better than her younger sister. She made her do all the chores. Can you believe that? And one of those chores was to walk a far distance 2 times a day to fetch fresh water from a fountain. How exhausting. Well, one day, after a particularly difficult day of chores and errands, the younger sister was so pooped that when she got to the fountain, she decided to sit and rest her sore feet for a moment. As soon as she sat on the grass, an old woman approached and begged her for some water. "I have no cup or pitcher to drink from," the old lady explained. "I see. Of course I will help you," said the younger sister. And although she was very tired, she rose to her feet, rinsed her pitcher, and filled it with fresh water, and then offered it to the old woman. When the old woman tried to hold the pitcher, it was too heavy. So the younger sister helped her hold it up to make it easier for her to have a nice long drink. When the old woman finished her drink, she said to the sister, "You are truly very kind and helpful, my dear, and I will give you a gift to suit your nature." As she spoke, the sister noticed a strange golden glimmer in the old woman's eyes. The old woman's looks faded away to reveal a beautiful glowing fairy. She had disguised herself as an old woman in need to test the kindness of the girl. I know, right? Plot twist! In all her fairy glowiness, she said to the younger sister, "Your gift is this. Whenever you speak a word, there shall come from the earth beneath your feet either a flower or a jewel." And then poof! She vanished! Magic! A bit stunned, a bit confused, and still a bit tired, the younger sister stood for a moment trying to figure out if what she had just seen was a dream or if it was real. "I must be really tired today. I'm seeing fairies," she thought to herself. When she realized the time, she hurried home as she knew her older sister would be waiting for her, all grouchy and grumpy and rude-like. Ugh. And she was right. "Where have you been? I'm thirsty," yelled the older sister. The younger sister hurried inside. "I'm sorry for being late." Whoa! In speaking just those few words, 2 roses, 2 pearls, and 2 large diamonds rose from the earth beneath her feet, nearly making her stumble. The older sister's eyes widened in sinister delight. "What is this? Pearls and diamonds are growing beneath your feet? How can this be, my dear sister?" Did you know that was the first time she had ever called her sister dear? Rude. Anyway, so the younger sister told the older sister all about the old woman at the fountain and what had happened. And as she told her, the earth rumbled and beautiful roses, pearls, diamonds, and other precious gems rose from the ground around her. "I must go at once," said the older sister. So she grabbed her finest pitcher and hurried off to the fountain. On her way, she thought to herself, I can totally give some old lady some water if it will make me rich forever. How far is this fountain? I am so never doing this again, that's for sure. Finally, she exclaimed as she approached the fountain. She immediately fell to the ground in exhaustion, as she was not accustomed to walking, I guess. As soon as she was on the grass for a rest, a magnificently dressed woman approached her and begged her for a drink. I have no cup or pitcher to drink from, the magnificent woman explained. But get this, it was the same fairy that appeared to the younger sister, except this time she disguised herself as a princess instead of an old lady. The older sister looked the beautiful princess up and down and guffed. Ugh, just because you are a princess, you expect me to stand up and serve you water? I don't think so. Get it yourself. And she tossed the pitcher at the fairy. Never has anyone treated me so unkind, said the fairy, but she wasn't angry. I will give you a gift to suit your nature. My gift to you is this. For every word you speak, there shall come from the earth beneath your feet a snake or a toad. Yeah, right, thought the older sister as she rolled her eyes. Who does that princess think she is? Where is that old lady anyway? I'm not going to wait here forever, you know. After waiting at the fountain for a couple more hours for an old lady to appear, the older sister got up in a huff and walked the long walk home. As soon as she arrived home, she started yelling at her younger sister. You lied to me! As she spoke, the earth rumbled and up from the ground came a snake and a toad. The snake slithered around her ankles before heading towards the forest. The toad seemed intent on staying close by. The younger sister's jaw was on the floor. What in the world happened? The older sister began to try and yell at the younger sister again, but more snakes and toads came up from the earth. This is all your fault, sister. I never want to see you again, she said to the younger sister. Leave here and never come back. Cried the older sister as she tried to get away from all of the snakes and toads. The younger sister fled into the forest. Now she had nowhere to live. As she sat under a big oak tree and cried, a young man passed by and saw her. As it turns out, it was the prince from a nearby kingdom returning from an outing. He asked the younger sister why she was alone and crying. My sister sent me away, she said, wiping her tears. To the prince's amazement, he saw hundreds of roses bloom around the younger sister. Roses were his favorite flower. He asked her how this happened, and she told him the whole story. He told her she was welcome to stay at his castle, so she did. There, the prince got to know the younger sister and loved her for her kind and generous heart. Eventually, and to the great delight of the whole kingdom, they were happily married. As for the older sister, she continued to live alone in the house, still cranky, still unhelpful, but much quieter than before. For if she ever dare say a word, she'd end up with some new slimy, slithery housemates to keep her company. Yuck. I always say it's important to be kind. Well, now you know why. Yeesh. The end.